Sometimes we come across someone whose life story practically shouts their message.
Yeah.
Today we're diving into Bob Proctor's Science of Getting Rich. And let me tell you, the man himself is Exhibit A.
Interesting. What's fascinating is that Proctor didn't start out wealthy.
Right.
He was a 26-year-old high school dropout, making a measly $4,000 a year, while buried under $6,000 of debt.
I read that he was practically dodging creditors.
Oh, wow.
But then he meets this mentor, Raymond Douglas Stanford,
Right.
who hands him Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich and says, there's a secret in this book. It'll unlock financial success. I can imagine young Bob rolling his eyes.
Yeah, you'd think so, especially with those finances.
Right.
But Proctor's results after applying the book's principles were undeniable.
Wow.
He went from struggling to thriving in just a few years.
Okay.
It's a testament to the power of the right knowledge applied consistently.
So what's the secret sauce? What did Proctor latch onto that most people miss?
He realized it's not about tactics or schemes.
Right.
It's about your level of awareness.
Okay.
Proctor says your awareness dictates your results in every area of life, especially finances. He compares expanding your awareness to magnifying a tiny dot. Even a small increase brings massive changes to relationships, health, and wealth.
That's an interesting visual.
Yeah.
But how does someone actually increase their awareness in a way that impacts their income?
It starts with recognizing what Proctor calls paradigms, those deeply ingrained habits and beliefs, often from childhood, that hold us back.
Yeah.
They're so ingrained we don't even question them.
He gave that funny example of eating the root of a turnip instead of the greens.
Yeah.
Because that's what his family always did.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't even realize there was another way to eat it.
Interesting.
It's a silly example, but it shows how powerful these unseen forces can be.
Absolutely.
Right.
And when it comes to finances, a common paradigm is lowering your standard of living to meet your income. Proctor says that's a terrible idea.
Okay.
Successful people understand how to create wealth.
Yeah.
They don't just try to stretch what they have.
So how does Proctor suggest we break free from these financial paradigms, these almost invisible scripts we're following?
He breaks down earning money into 3 strategies.
Okay.
M1, M2, and M3.
Got it.
He emphasizes how important it is for parents to teach this to their children.
Okay.
It's like financial literacy from a completely different angle.
All right, I'm intrigued. Break it down for us. What are these 3 strategies? I'm guessing they build on each other.
Exactly.
Okay.
M1, he says, is the most common, but the least effective.
Oh.
It's trading time for money, the classic 9-to-5 grind.
Yeah.
Most people operate this way, leading to a life of just scraping by.
Sounds familiar, unfortunately. What about M2?
M2 is investing money to make more money.
Okay.
It's a good strategy, but only a small percentage of people actually use it effectively.
Okay, so we're talking about getting our money to work for us, not just the other way around.
Exactly.
And then there's M3, the mysterious final level.
Right.
What's that about?
This is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
M3 is about setting up multiple income streams.
Okay.
You're multiplying your time, not just trading it.
Right.
Proctor himself made this shift early in his career, even before fully understanding it.
He intuitively tapped into something most people miss. It's like he had a hunch there was a better way, and then figured it out as he went along.
Right.
I bet our listeners are wondering what sorts of multiple income streams Proctor recommends.
He gets into the specifics later, but he really emphasizes finding your PSI, your psychic source of income.
All right, PSI. It sounds a bit mystical. What does that even mean, practically speaking?
It's about doing what you love and getting paid handsomely for it.
Right.
Proctor argues everyone has a PSI, something they can do effortlessly and get ridiculous sums of money for.
This is making me think about all those people who seem to effortlessly succeed in fields they're passionate about. Okay, so how do we figure out what our PSI is? This seems crucial.
Proctor stresses that discovering your PSI starts with self-awareness.
Okay.
It's about understanding who you are beyond surface-level labels and tapping into your unique talents and passions.
So we're talking about self-awareness as the key to unlocking this PSI, this incredible potential that's in each of us.
Right.
But how do we go beyond those surface-level labels, as you said? Yeah. Where do we even start?
Proctor had his own aha moment with this.
Oh.
His mentor challenged him to define his true identity.
Okay.
Not just his name or what he did for work.
Right.
It forced him to confront the question, who am I really?
That's deep.
Yeah.
And probably a question most of us avoid asking ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We tend to identify with external things.
Right.
But Proctor emphasizes our true nature.
Okay.
We're spiritual beings with infinite potential. The problem is most of us live way below our capabilities.
We're walking around with these superpowers we haven't even tapped into. I feel like I've heard this idea before.
Yeah.
But the way Proctor frames it, it's so clear and motivating.
Right.
How do we start activating those powers?
It's about understanding the mind,
Okay.
specifically the subconscious mind.
Okay.
Proctor quotes all sorts of thinkers to emphasize its power,
Got it.
even using a visual aid.
Yeah.
Dr. Thurman Fleet's drawing of a genie to represent the mind's structure.
Hold on, a genie.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm picturing a magical lamp, not the human brain.
It's a clever way to visualize it.
Okay.
The conscious mind, Proctor explains, is like the genie's master giving it commands.
Right.
It's our thinking mind, the part that accepts or rejects ideas.
Okay, I'm following so far. So what's the genie itself in this analogy?
That's the subconscious mind. It's
Yeah.
the emotional mind.
Okay.
It doesn't think critically.
Mm-hmm.
It just absorbs impressions and controls the body's vibration,
Right.
which ultimately leads to specific results in our lives.
So our thoughts and beliefs are translated into a sort of energy, a vibration, that the subconscious then projects out into the world, shaping our reality.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that brings us to the power of images.
Okay.
Proctor emphasizes that we think in pictures, not words. He'd even do this fun exercise in his seminars,
Okay.
asking people to visualize their fridge or their car.
Crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
But then he'd ask them to visualize their mind. Suddenly, everyone draws a blank.
That's so true. I can picture my messy fridge right now, no problem.
Yeah.
But my mind, it's just a concept.
Right.
No clear image comes to mind. So what's the takeaway here?
The takeaway is this lack of a clear image of our own minds leads to confusion,
Okay.
both internally and in our external results.
Got it.
Proctor argues that visualizing the mind is crucial, especially for good health.
Okay.
He defines health as a body vibrating in harmony with natural laws.
Right.
And that starts with a clear mental picture.
Okay, so if I want to change my financial reality, I need to start by changing the images in my mind.
Yeah.
But how does the subconscious factor into all of this?
The subconscious is like an open book at birth,
Okay.
absorbing everything from our environment.
Yeah?
It forms our paradigms and habits,
Right.
for better or worse.
Okay.
Proctor encourages us to think back to our childhoods, to the messages we received about money and success.
Yeah.
Were those messages empowering or limiting?
It's like we were unknowingly programmed with certain beliefs about money.
Exactly.
And those beliefs are now running the show in our adult lives.
Yeah.
No wonder so many people struggle financially, even if they're working hard.
Exactly.
Great.
And if we don't address those subconscious beliefs, they'll continue to sabotage our efforts to create a different reality.
But the good news is if the subconscious can be programmed, it can be reprogrammed, right?
Precisely.
Okay.
Proctor emphasizes that we don't have to be victims of our past conditioning.
Right.
We can consciously choose to cultivate new beliefs that support our financial goals.
Okay.
He calls this imagined reality. And it's essentially practicing what you want in your mind's eye, just like an actor rehearsing their lines.
I've heard of visualization techniques before.
Yeah.
But the way Proctor explains it makes it seem less like woo-woo
Right.
and more like a practical tool for rewiring our brains.
It's about creating a new blueprint in your subconscious.
Okay.
A blueprint that aligns with the financial abundance you desire.
Right.
And he has this cool technique for doing this.
Oh.
He calls them gold cards.
Okay.
You write down your goals as if they're already happening, using the present tense.
So instead of saying, I want to earn $100,000 a year,
Exactly.
you'd write, I am so happy and grateful now that I earn $100,000 a year.
You got it.
Almost like tricking your subconscious into believing it's already true.
And by repeatedly reading and visualizing those affirmations, you're essentially imprinting them on your subconscious mind.
Right?
But here's the key.
Okay.
It's not just about the words. Proctor emphasizes feeling the emotion of already having achieved the goal. Right. That emotional energy is what really activates the subconscious.
It's like when you buy a new car, suddenly you start seeing that same make and model everywhere.
Yeah.
Your awareness has shifted so you notice it more. It's like you've tuned your brain to that specific frequency.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
You're training your mind to look for opportunities that align with your goals.
Right.
But even with all the visualization and affirmations in the world, there's something else that's crucial for success.
Okay, what's the missing ingredient?
Proctor calls it definite purpose.
Okay.
It's about having a driving force, an all-consuming obsession
Right.
that propels you towards what you truly desire. He criticizes the tendency to just tiptoe through life,
Right.
afraid to take risks or pursue big dreams.
He's basically saying, go big or go home. Don't just settle for a comfortable life. Go after what truly excites you. But I can imagine that's easier said than done for a lot of people.
Of course. It can be scary to step outside our comfort zones.
Right.
And here's another challenge Proctor highlights.
Okay.
Sometimes our existing relationships can actually hold us back.
Hold us back. How so?
It's not intentional,
Okay.
but think about it.
Okay.
If you start setting big goals, aiming for a higher level of success, the people in your life who are content with the status quo
Right.
might unconsciously try to keep you at their level.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's like they're afraid of being left behind, or maybe they're threatened by your ambition. So what's the solution? How do you navigate that?
Proctor emphasizes surrounding yourself with people who support your goals and aspirations.
Got it.
He says, associating with those already living the life you want can have a huge impact on your own beliefs and actions.
Right.
It's like that saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
So true.
Yeah.
And that's good advice for any area of life, not just finances.
Yeah.
But it can be tough to make those changes, especially if your current circle isn't exactly growth-oriented.
Absolutely. And that's where Proctor's emphasis on personal growth comes in.
Okay.
Attend seminars, read books, listen to audiobooks.
Right.
Immerse yourself in information that expands your awareness and challenges your paradigms.
Yeah.
He even joked about being a seminar junkie.
Right.
But look at the results he got.
It's about having a growth mindset, always being open to learning and evolving. But isn't it enough to just consume information?
Yeah.
At some point, don't we have to actually do something with it?
You're hitting on a crucial point.
Okay.
Proctor talks about praxis.
Okay.
Integrating belief with behavior. It's not enough to just think positive thoughts. You need to take action that aligns with those beliefs.
He gave the example of someone who claims to believe in abundance, but then hoards their money, afraid to spend or invest.
Right.
Their actions are totally contradicting their words.
Exactly.
Right.
Their behavior reveals that deep down,
Yeah.
they're still operating from a paradigm of scarcity.
Right.
So it's about closing that gap between belief and action.
Okay, so how do we bridge that gap? How do we go from thinking about abundance to actually living it?
Proctor emphasizes consistency in practicing these principles.
Okay.
It's not a one-time fix. It's an ongoing process of reprogramming your subconscious mind,
Right.
challenging those limiting beliefs,
Right.
and taking consistent action.
Okay.
He compares it to working out a muscle.
Yeah.
You need to repeatedly challenge it to see results.
That makes so much sense. It's like you would expect to run a marathon without training.
Right.
And you can't expect to achieve financial success without putting in the mental and emotional work.
Exactly.
Right.
And, he even brings up Booker T. Washington, who rose from slavery to become a prominent educator and leader.
Yeah.
Talk about overcoming adversity.
Right.
He had every reason to give up.
Wow.
But he had a vision for his life.
Right.
And he took action to achieve it.
That's such a powerful reminder that we all have the potential to create extraordinary lives, regardless of our circumstances.
Proctor really drives this point home.
Okay. You don't have to know how you're going to do it. You just have to know you're going to do it.
Wow.
It's about having that unshakable faith in yourself and the process.
I love that. It takes the pressure off of having to have it all figured out beforehand.
Yeah.
You just need that unwavering commitment to your vision.
Exactly.
Speaking of vision, Proctor's story about the creation of Chicken Soup for the Soul is a perfect example of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's such a classic example of a simple idea
Right.
paired with a clear vision and focused action leading to massive success.
Yeah. And think about it. Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen didn't write those stories themselves.
Right.
They created a platform, a system that allowed others to share their inspiring experiences.
It's about thinking bigger than just yourself.
Right.
You don't have to do everything alone.
Yeah.
You can leverage the power of collaboration, delegation, and systems to achieve your goals.
Yeah.
It's like building a business, not just working in one.
Exactly.
Right.
And as Proctor says, everyone has a chicken soup concept within them.
Right.
It's about discovering that unique idea and finding ways to share it with the world.
Right.
It's about tapping into your creativity,
Yeah.
identifying your strengths, and then finding a way to monetize your passions.
And this is where owning and controlling your ideas, your intellectual property becomes so important.
Exactly.
Proctor emphasizes that, especially in today's economy, knowledge and creativity are valuable assets
Yes.
that can generate serious wealth.
It's about working smart, not just hard.
Right.
And that's what the science of getting rich is all about.
Exactly.
Understanding the principles that govern wealth creation and then applying them intelligently to your life.
It's like learning the rules of the game so you can play to win.
Right.
Yeah.
And as Proctor always emphasized, it all comes down to making decisions.
Right.
The decision to change your mindset, the decision to take action,
Yeah.
the decision to invest in yourself,
Right.
and the decision to create the life you truly desire.
This has been so insightful. So much to reflect on and apply.
Absolutely.
But before we move on, I want to leave our listener with a question to ponder.
Okay.
What's your chicken soup concept?
Yeah.
What unique idea, skill, or passion do you have that could be transformed into a source of abundance?
It's a question worth exploring.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be complicated.
Okay.
It could be something you're already good at, something people come to you for advice on, or something that simply lights you up inside.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Sometimes we overlook our own strengths because they seem so natural to us. We think everyone can do this,
Right.
but that's often not the case. What feels easy to you might be a valuable skill that others would pay for.
Absolutely.
Right.
And once you identify your chicken soup concept,
Right.
it's about exploring different ways to package and share it with the world. That could mean creating a course, writing a book, offering consulting services, or even building a whole business around it.
So many possibilities.
Yeah.
This is making me rethink what's possible, both for myself and for our listener.
Yeah.
It's like Proctor saying, don't underestimate yourself.
Right.
You have something valuable to offer the world, and you deserve to be richly rewarded for it.
That's the spirit of it.
Right.
It's about stepping into your power, embracing your unique talents, and creating a life of abundance on your own terms. And remember, you don't have to have all the answers right now.
Right.
The journey itself is part of the fun.
I love that perspective.
Yeah.
It takes the pressure off of having to be perfect and allows for exploration and discovery along the way.
Yeah.
But I'm curious,
Okay.
how does Proctor suggest we approach this journey? Is it all about hustle and grind, or is there a more balanced approach?
He actually cautions against that always-on mentality. He talks about the importance of organized victory, which is having a strategy and a plan, but also staying relaxed and allowing the process to unfold naturally.
Organized victory. I like that. It's about having a clear vision and a plan,
Right.
but also trusting the process and not forcing things.
He uses this beautiful analogy of a garden.
Oh.
You plant the seeds, nurture them, and then trust nature to do its work. You don't pull on the sprouts to make them grow faster.
Right.
You create the right conditions and let them flourish.
That's such a great way to think about it. So many of us are trying to force things, hustle and grind our way to success. But maybe it's more about aligning our energy with our goals and trusting that the universe will support us. What do you think?
Proctor would definitely agree with that. He even talks about the importance of playing and having fun along the way.
Right.
When you're enjoying the journey, you're more likely to stick with it and achieve those results you're after.
This is making me think about all the times I've gotten so caught up in striving and pushing that I forgot to actually enjoy the process.
Yeah.
It's like when you're playing a game you love, you get so absorbed in it,
Right.
you lose track of time.
Yeah.
You're present, engaged, and having fun. Why can't we bring that same energy to our work?
Exactly. When we're passionate about what we're doing, it doesn't feel like work at all. It becomes a joyful expression of our creativity and purpose.
Okay.
And speaking of work,
Right.
there's one more concept Proctor highlights that's crucial for understanding financial abundance.
Okay. I'm all ears. What is it?
It's the law of compensation.
Okay.
Proctor explains that the amount of money you earn is directly proportional to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty of replacing you.
So it's not just about working hard. It's about providing real value that people are willing to pay for.
Yeah.
And that value increases when you're exceptionally good at what you do and hard to replace.
That's the key. If you want to increase your income, you need to focus on becoming indispensable in your field.
Yeah.
Be the go-to person, the expert that everyone wants to work with.
It makes you think about all those people who are at the top of their game in any field. They're not just talented, they're masters of their craft.
Exactly.
And they've invested the time and energy to become the best.
It all ties back to continuous learning and self-improvement.
Right?
The more you invest in developing your skills and expanding your knowledge, the more valuable you become. It's like compound interest, but for your personal and professional growth.
The more you put in, the more you get back. It seems so simple, yet so many of us neglect this crucial aspect of success. We get comfortable, we stop growing, and then we wonder why we're not seeing the results we want.
That's why Proctor's work is so powerful. It challenges us to think differently, to step out of our comfort zones, and to embrace the idea that we can create a life of abundance on our own terms. But he also reminds us that true success isn't just about personal gain.
What do you mean by that?
He has this great quote.
Okay.
You can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. It's a reminder that the most fulfilling success is about making a positive impact on the world.
Wow, that really puts things in perspective. It's not about hoarding wealth or climbing over others to get to the top. It's about using your talents and resources to make a difference and contribute to something bigger than yourself.
And that's what makes Bob Proctor's message so inspiring. It's not just about getting rich, it's about living a fulfilling life, using your gifts to help others, and realizing your full potential as a human being.
This has been such an incredible deep dive into the science of getting rich. We've covered so much ground, from paradigms and subconscious programming to PSI and the law of compensation. It's a lot to take in, but I think the key takeaway is that we all have the power to create a life of abundance.
Absolutely.
It starts with a decision.
Right.
A decision to challenge your limiting beliefs, to step into your true power, and to take consistent action towards your goals. It's not always easy, but it's incredibly rewarding.
Absolutely.
So before we sign off, I want to challenge you, dear listener, to take one small step today to apply what you've learned. It could be as simple as writing down a goal, visualizing yourself achieving it, or reflecting on your own chicken soup concept.
And remember, as Bob Proctor said, it's not about being bright, it's about making a decision.
What decision will you make today to create a brighter future for yourself?
We're excited.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of knowledge and ideas.